If you feel a strange, lingering emptiness inside, this might not be depression or a sign of failure. Sometimes, the universe goes completely silent right before it rebuilds your entire identity. In this video, you will finally understand the invisible phase that no one talks about before a profound inner transformation. Lately, you might feel like you no longer fit into your own life. The things that used to bring you joy now feel hollow. The places you used to go feel foreign, and the people you once resonated with seem to be speaking an entirely different language. You are waking up to a deep sense of displacement, as if you are grieving a loss you cannot even name. You are wandering through the ghost of a routine that no longer belongs to you, carrying the heavy weight of an identity that has already expired. But you are not breaking down. You are breaking through. There is a profound, energetic reason why the universe is stripping away everything that feels familiar, repeating the same uncomfortable signs until you finally see the truth. What you are experiencing is the invisible symptom of a quantum collapse, the chaotic void that must occur just before your reality shifts into a completely new timeline. I know how exhausting and solitary this spiritual transition can feel, but stay with me until the end of this journey, because in the final part of this video, I will reveal the one critical mistake that is keeping you trapped in this void, and exactly how to align with the higher version of your soul that is already waiting on the other side. If you found your way to this video, your soul guided you here for a reason. You did not click by accident. Lately, you have been standing at an invisible crossroads. You look at your daily routine, your relationships, the places you go, or even the reflection in the mirror, and a quiet but persistent voice inside you whispers, "This is not me anymore." You are experiencing a profound emotional transition, a complex phase of letting go, of facing the void, and of preparing for a massive reconstruction of who you are. It is a very specific type of spiritual loneliness. You feel entirely displaced, as if you were suddenly dropped into the wrong timeline, wearing an identity that no longer fits your energy. You might be watching your life play out on autopilot, carrying a heavy existential anxiety and a deep-seated fear that you are somehow wasting your true potential. How many times have you felt that the universe is trying to tell you something, screaming through intense synchronicities and repetitive cycles, but you just cannot decode the exact message? How many times have you asked for a clear sign, only to be met with a deafening, uncomfortable silence? This silence, this confusing displacement, is actually the most crucial stage of your spiritual awakening. Your old identity has to completely stop working before your new reality can take form. You are shifting your vibrational frequency, and the truth is, you simply cannot carry an old, limited version of yourself into a higher dimensional timeline. The universe is intentionally dismantling the outdated structures of your past to make room for the infinite expansion of your future. That is exactly why this portal exists. Think of this channel as a safe harbor where quantum science, energy, and spiritual consciousness meet to explain the deepest mysteries of your inner journey. We are here to translate the subtle language of the cosmos, to help you organize the chaotic emotional symptoms you are feeling, and to give you the exact map you need to navigate this shift. Today, you will finally feel that someone understands what is happening inside your soul. You are not losing your mind, and you are not failing. You are simply in the waiting room of a massive quantum leap. Let us begin by looking closely at the invisible symptom that brought you here. Maybe today you woke up with a heavy chest, a subtle tightness that has no logical explanation. You look around your room, you look at the clothes in your closet, or you think about the job you have been doing for years, and a sudden, overwhelming wave of apathy washes over you. You are not sad in the traditional sense, but you feel completely drained of life force. You feel like a stranger in your own biography. This is the first, The most confusing and yet the most sacred stage of a quantum timeline shift. Energetically, what is happening to you right now is a profound frequency mismatch. Everything in this universe, including your thoughts, your emotions, and the physical reality surrounding you, is made of energy vibrating at a specific frequency. For years, your internal frequency was perfectly matched to the external reality you built. Your friends, your career, your habits, your belief systems, they were all tuned to the exact same energetic station. But recently, without you even fully realizing it, your soul began to vibrate at a higher, more expanded rate. You have simply outgrown your own life. Imagine that you have been broadcasting your existence on an AM radio station for decades. You knew all the songs, you knew the rhythm, and it was comfortable. But suddenly, your internal receiver was upgraded by the universe to catch an FM frequency. For a while, as you turn the dial of your life trying to find a clear signal, all you hear is static. That frustrating static is the noise of your current life. It is the energetic friction between the soul you are becoming and the physical reality you are still inhabiting. You are no longer fully anchored in the old reality, but you have not completely materialized into the new one either. You are living in the energetic void between stations. This is exactly why everything feels so exhausting right now. It takes an immense, draining amount of vital energy to pretend to be someone you no longer are. The universe is intentionally causing your old identity to malfunction. Think about it. If your old life continued to work perfectly, you would never leave. You would settle for a comfortable illusion instead of stepping into your true cosmic destiny. In quantum physics, reality only collapses into a physical, tangible form when it is observed. For years, you observed yourself as one specific person with specific limits, fears, and preferences. You collapsed the quantum wave into a predictable, repetitive particle of daily existence. But your consciousness has expanded. You are no longer observing yourself through the same limited lens, which means the old reality can no longer hold its physical shape. It is dissolving back into the quantum soup of infinite possibilities. I need you to hear this and let it sink deeply into your soul. You are not breaking down. You are breaking through. You are not losing your mind. You are losing the limiting programs that were installed in your mind by society, by ancestral trauma, and by fear. Every time you feel that profound emptiness, it is actually the quantum field clearing space. You cannot manifest a higher dimensional life if your energetic hands are full, tightly gripping the past. The pain of letting go is simply the feeling of your old skin peeling away. Think about a recent moment when you tried to force yourself to enjoy something you used to love. Maybe it was a casual conversation with an old friend, or a routine task you used to perform effortlessly. You probably felt a sudden drain of energy, a physical exhaustion that made you want to retreat and be entirely alone. That is not depression. That is your energetic body violently rejecting a frequency that is no longer aligned with your quantum blueprint. Your soul is literally forcing you into isolation so that outside voices stop interfering with the new energetic code being written in your DNA. Solitude, in this phase, is the incubator of your shifting consciousness. Very soon, I'm going to show you the exact quantum mechanism of how your parallel realities operate, and the most common, invisible error that keeps spiritual seekers trapped in this static void for years. But before we get there, you must accept the destruction of the old you. You must stop trying to resuscitate an identity that the universe has already declared dead. The collapse of your current reality is not a cosmic punishment. It is a profound divine intervention. It is the universe protecting you from a life that is simply too small for the spirit you carry. Remember this. The cocoon always looks like a place of death to the caterpillar, but to the universe, it is the exact laboratory where wings are forged. Your old life is not falling apart. It is falling into place. Let us dive deeper into the quantum architecture of what you are experiencing. Right now, you are not just changing habits, outgrowing a relationship, or moving to a new phase of life. You are literally migrating between timelines. In quantum physics, there is a concept known as the multiverse, which suggests that infinite parallel realities exist simultaneously. Every possible version of your life is already playing out in the vast quantum field. There is a timeline where you stayed in that draining situation, a timeline where you never woke up spiritually, and a timeline where you are already living your highest, most abundant, and deeply peaceful purpose. What is happening to your reality right now is that your consciousness is shifting its anchor. You are detaching from an old, dense timeline and crossing the void to a completely new, elevated one. Imagine your life as a movie reel projecting onto a giant screen. For years, you played the exact same reel. You knew the characters, you memorized the plot, and you could predict the ending. But recently, your higher self, the purest version of you that exists outside of time and space, decided it was time for a massive upgrade. The universe did not just pause your old movie, it started projecting a second, entirely different reel right over the first one. Take a deep breath and feel the truth of this for a moment. When two different movies are projected onto the exact same screen at the same time, what happens? Total visual and emotional chaos. You can no longer make sense of the old story, but you cannot quite see the new story clearly yet either. Everything feels blurry, confusing, and profoundly disorienting. This is exactly where you are standing right now. You are experiencing a timeline overlap. Perhaps lately you find yourself staring blankly at your computer screen at work, or sitting in your parked car in the driveway, unable to go inside your own house, simply because the life waiting inside feels like it belongs to a stranger. You are grieving the death of your past self while you are still alive. When you experience sudden, bizarre synchronicities, seeing repeating numbers like 1111, thinking of someone right before they message you, or feeling a magnetic, inexplicable intuition to change your routine, that is the new timeline bleeding into the old one. These are not random coincidences. They are deliberate breadcrumbs dropped by your higher self, guiding you through the chaotic overlap. Your higher self is already standing in that future timeline, reaching back through the quantum field and pulling you forward by your soul. Have you ever felt a strange nostalgia for a future you have not even lived yet? A deep homesickness for a place, or a version of yourself you cannot quite remember? That is your quantum memory. Your soul already knows the destination, even if your human mind is terrified of the journey. Earlier, I promised to reveal the greatest mistake that keeps spiritual seekers trapped in this agonizing void, repeating the same cycles of suffering. The error is this: trying to drag the heavy luggage of your old timeline into your new quantum reality. When the old reality starts collapsing, our human instinct is to panic and try to fix it. We try to save relationships that have clearly expired. We force ourselves to fit back into the tiny boxes we just outgrew. We literally beg the universe to give us back the very things we previously asked to be freed from, simply because the unknown feels too vast and terrifying. But you cannot bring a heavy, fear-based identity into a timeline built on freedom and light. The frequency simply will not hold. You are trying to board a high-speed train to your cosmic destiny, but you are refusing to let go of suitcases filled with rocks. The universe is not punishing you by making things difficult. It is trying to force you to drop the luggage. Remember this, and let it comfort your anxious heart. You are not breaking under the weight of your life. You are awakening to the truth that this life was never fully yours to begin with. Very soon, I will show you exactly how to navigate this crossing and align with that awakened version of your soul, so the chaos finally stops. But first, you must recognize that the destruction you see around you is actually an act of divine clearing. The timeline you are desperately trying to hold on to is exactly what is keeping you from the timeline you were born to rule. Stop trying to fix the old illusion and let your new reality collapse into existence. Let us talk about how you actually bridge this gap. You now understand that your old identity is collapsing, and the chaotic void you feel is simply the space between two timelines. But how do you stop floating in this uncomfortable limbo? How do you finally anchor yourself into the reality where your soul is already awake, aligned, and at peace? The secret lies in understanding a fundamental law of the quantum field. Time is not linear. Time is entirely simultaneous. The version of you that has already survived this painful transition, the version of you that is living your deepest purpose, feeling completely fulfilled and spiritually whole, that version does not exist 10 years in the future. They exist right now, in this exact moment, simply vibrating at a higher frequency in a parallel reality. Imagine a grand cosmic radio station. The awakened version of your soul is broadcasting a beautiful, crystal-clear symphony. Your current self is turning the dial, trying to find that exact station through the heavy static of your daily life. To hear the music, you do not need to build an entirely new radio. You just need to tune your internal dial to the exact same frequency as the broadcast. In quantum terms, we call this the law of resonance. Think about a tuning fork. If you place two tuning forks across a room from each other and strike one, the second one will miraculously begin to vibrate and hum without anyone ever physically touching it. It responds to the invisible waves of resonance in the room. Right now, your higher self is striking the tuning fork of your destiny. They are sending powerful ripples through the quantum field, and the deep, unexplained longing you feel in your chest is simply your soul trying to match that vibration. But how does this look in your everyday life? How do you actually match that frequency when you're sitting on the edge of your bed, feeling overwhelmed by the mundane reality of bills, unfulfilling relationships, or a daily routine that drains your spirit? It happens in the micro moments of your day. It happens in the pause. Let us say a familiar, uncomfortable situation arises. Perhaps someone disrespects a boundary, or a sudden wave of financial panic washes over you, or you feel the urge to shrink your authentic self just to keep the peace in a room. In your old timeline, your automatic program would immediately take over. You would react with fear, anger, or by people-pleasing. You would collapse the quantum wave back into the exact same predictable reality you are desperately trying to escape. But to align with your awakened soul, you must introduce a new variable into the equation. You take a deep breath, you pause, and in that sacred pause you ask yourself, how would the awakened version of me, the one who already lives in my highest timeline, respond to this exact moment? That future version of you does not react with panic because they know they are infinitely supported by the universe. That version of you does not shrink to make others comfortable because they know their absolute cosmic worth. When you choose to respond from the perspective of your future self, rather than reacting from the trauma of your past, you instantly bridge the quantum gap. You literally pull the frequency of your new timeline into your present physical body. The quantum field does not respond to what you desperately want. It responds to who you are being. If you keep broadcasting the frequency of lack, waiting for your external reality to change before you allow yourself to feel peace, the universe will keep mirroring that exact waiting and lacking back to you. You must become the vibrational match to your new life before it materializes. You must walk, breathe, and speak as the awakened soul you are, even while the old physical structures are still falling down around you. I want to remind you once again, as you navigate this delicate and exhausting phase, you are not breaking down, you are awakening. You are stripping away the heavy armor of a life that was never truly yours, so that you can finally wear the light of your own authenticity. In just a moment, I'm going to guide you through a very simple, yet incredibly powerful practical reflection. It is a quantum tool you can use today, right after this video ends, to instantly collapse the void and anchor yourself into your new timeline. But before we step into that practice, I need you to absorb this profound truth into your cells. You do not have to fight your old reality to change it. You simply have to stop giving it your energy. The universe is not waiting for you to heal completely to give you the life you deserve. The universe is only waiting for you to choose differently. We have journeyed together through the invisible mechanics of your spiritual displacement. You now understand why your energy feels so drained, why your old reality is collapsing, and how your higher self is pulling you forward into a completely new timeline. But the quantum field requires more than just intellectual understanding. It requires physical embodiment. It requires you to anchor this profound spiritual truth into the very cells of your body right now. So I invite you to join me in a very simple yet powerful quantum reflection. You do not need any special tools, and you do not need to be in a perfect meditative state. You just need to be exactly where you are, breathing and willing to cross the bridge. If it feels safe for you right now, softly close your eyes or simply lower your gaze. Let out a long, slow breath. A breath that signals to your nervous system that you are safe in this exact moment, even in the middle of all the chaos. I want you to bring your awareness to that heavy, uncomfortable feeling of displacement you have been carrying. Notice where it sits in your body. Maybe it is a tightness in your chest, a knot in your stomach, or a lingering exhaustion in your shoulders. Do not try to push it away or fix it. For the very first time, just let it be there. Acknowledge it as the energetic friction of your old timeline leaving your physical vessel. It is the sound of your old identity slowly powering down. Now, imagine that just a few steps in front of you stands the awakened, fully aligned version of your soul. This is the version of you who has already crossed the void. They are living in your highest timeline. They are grounded, deeply peaceful, entirely free from the anxiety of the unknown, and vibrating with a quiet, unshakable confidence. Look closely at their energy. Notice how lightly they carry themselves. Notice the serenity in their eyes. They are not rushing. They are not forcing anything to happen. They are simply existing in a state of profound trust with the universe. I want you to imagine stepping forward and merging completely with this version of yourself. Feel their energy wash over you. Feel their calm nervous system literally recalibrate your own. Take a deep breath as them. From this elevated perspective, looking back at your current life, what is the one thing you are holding on to that is keeping you anchored in the past? What is the one heavy suitcase you need to drop today? Is it a fear of disappointing others? Is it a toxic cycle you keep repeating because it feels familiar? Is it the belief that you are somehow broken and need fixing? Whatever it is, I want you to mentally hand it over to the universe right now. You do not need to figure out how to let it go. You just need to make the energetic choice to release it. Say to yourself, quietly, but with absolute certainty, I release the timeline of struggle. I release the identity that no longer serves my highest expansion. I choose to align with the frequency of my awakened soul. Take another deep breath and feel the physical relief of dropping that weight. This is not just a mental exercise. This is a deliberate quantum collapse. Every time you consciously choose the frequency of your future over the familiarity of your past, you are literally pulling your new reality closer to you. You are commanding the universe to rebuild your life around this new vibration. As you move through your day to day, and as you interact with the people and the environments that used to drain you, I want you to carry this quiet, powerful realization with you. You are no longer the person who reacts to the chaos. You are the observer of the shift. When the old reality tries to trigger you, pause, take a breath, and remember that you are simply watching a movie reel that is already ending. You do not have to fight the screen. You just have to wait for the new projection to come fully into focus. You are stepping out of the waiting room of your spiritual awakening and walking onto the stage of your true cosmic destiny. The displacement you feel is simply the empty space being prepared for a miracle. As we move toward the final conclusion of our journey together today, I want to leave you with the absolute core truth of this entire process. The one profound insight I promised you at the very beginning of this video. The insight that will finally make sense of everything you have been enduring. You are not losing yourself in the void. You are finally meeting the soul you were always meant to be. Here is the message the universe wants you to hear right now. The cosmos never dismantles a life unless it is preparing to build a masterpiece. The strange emptiness you feel, the sudden loss of your old identity, the heavy silence of the unknown, none of it was a punishment or a sign of failure. It was the absolute deepest form of spiritual protection. You were trying to survive in a reality that was simply too small for your expanding consciousness, and the universe loved you too much to let you stay there. You are not behind in life. You have not ruined your timeline. You are exactly where you need to be, standing safely in the sacred, fertile void between who you were and who you are becoming. This video ends here, but the process it awakened in you is just beginning. Take a deep breath and remember this as you step back into your day. You had to lose the person you thought you were so you could finally meet the soul you were always meant to be. The collapse was never the end of your story. It was the birth of your true cosmic power. CTA. If this content touched your heart today, if you felt like these words were speaking directly to a quiet, knowing place inside your soul, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. This portal exists exactly for those who are navigating this profound and often solitary spiritual transition. You do not have to walk this path alone anymore. Before you go, take a moment to claim your frequency. Write in the comments below, "I choose to awaken," or share a recent synchronicity you have experienced. Putting your intention into words is a beautiful way to energetically anchor your new timeline into this physical reality. And to continue this inner journey, click on the video appearing on your screen right now. It will gently guide you through the next phase of your quantum expansion, helping you navigate the beautiful unknown that awaits you. Trust the void. Trust the silence. Your new reality is already here.